Next, we are doing a new little thing we're trying because there's not a lot of news in the NFL. And before our special guest comes on, we're going to go over Ash and my offensive positional power rankings for the upcoming season, just talent-wise. This is our opinion, and then we'll see what you guys think.
It is a good month, Kate.
My son was born this month, so I love this month.
Good to celebrate people.
We'll start. We're going to go over our power rankings, and then we're going to bring our guests on and see what he thinks of our power rankings, and then we'll kind of move on to the next segment from there. But we're going to go quarterback, receiver, running back, and tight end rankings in the NFL, our personal opinions, talent-wise, maybe not best production or fantasy or anything like that. Just talent.
It's really just like my opinion on who coming into this season is the most talented in my opinion. Because obviously, I mean, you could base this on a lot of different things, like who's going to get the most fantasy points, who's going to have the most yards, who's going to this or that. And I'm not. This is just purely this season because there are people that are not on my list that have had better careers. Just gonna.
Sorry, Kate. Tom Brady's not on her list.
Tom Brady is not on my list. And disclaimer, Alvin Kamara is not on my list, but I think Alvin Kamara is very talented. But I think this season, there are people that are more talented than him.
All right, so this is good. Let's give us your top 5 quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks in order.
In order.
Is Josh Allen.
Number 1.
Shocking. Also, don't come for me for being biased because I'm 1,000% biased and I don't care.
It's your rankings.
This is my opinion.
Yeah, it's your
If
list.
I was doing an unbiased news article or something, maybe he wouldn't be one. But he's the one on my list now.
Kate will forgive you.
Thank you. Maybe if he would have done Tom Brady like years ago, I would have said he was. But so Josh Allen's my number 1. Patrick Mahomes is my number 2. Aaron Rodgers is my number 3. Don't come for me, Kate.
I would say Kate just blew up.
Herbert is my number 4. Number 5 on literally all my list. I'm struggling.
Who you got?
Well, I want to be a homer and have Ryan Dakota Prescott. Because if I'm looking at quarterbacks in the league, I want Dak over Kyler. I want Dak over Lamar. I want Dak over Burrow. So I'm going Dak.
List.
Screw your list.
Dak is not on your 5th? Okay.
I mean, so I looked at a lot of lists. Dak was like number 7 on people's list. So all I did is like bump him up 2.
All right.
I'm going to realistically probably like Matthew Stafford would be number 5. But I don't like that.
We have 4 of this 5. I have the same quarterbacks, just in a different order.
Let me guess, number 1.
You could probably guess number 1.
Aaron Rodgers.
You're getting a lot of forgiveness today. Yep, number 1 on my list for quarterbacks is definitely Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how you go. Don't go with the back-to-back MVP, reigning MVP. Obviously, I think he's the most talented
MVP last year.
Huh?
I'm going into this year.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking the reigning back-to-back MVP as the most talented quarterback this year. Next, I got Patrick Mahomes. I still think he is insane.
We both have Mahomes at 2.
Yep. I think Mahomes is super talented.
I think Mahomes had he was so high, and then he had like a pretty good year, and everyone's like, oh, look at he started slow. I think some people lost faith in him.
Yeah, he's still very, very good. So I got him there, and then I do have Josh Allen as 3. I think he is uber talented as well. Very good running the ball, and his arm is insane.
We flip-flop Allen and Rodgers.
And then after Josh Allen, I have Justin Herbert, who I think is one of the most throws the beautiful ball right behind Aaron Rodgers. But he hasn't produced winning-wise enough for me to get him any higher, but I do think he is uber talented, very good quarterback, and so he's number 4. And then number 5 for me just won the Super Bowl, Matthew Stafford.
Our list was basically the same. We just switched.
Except you have Rain Dakota.
Well, I said realistically it would probably be Matthew Stafford, but I would like to put Dak.
But yep, that's our quarterbacks. I think we're going to differ on running backs for sure.
I think quarterbacks are. I mean, you could probably people would throw like Tom Brady in there probably, but
Tom Brady. People have Joe Burrow in their top 5. Some people have like Russell Wilson in their top 5.
Russell, I was debating Russell Wilson. I'm not a huge Wilson fan though, so.
I just think if I am going into the season and I get to choose any quarterback in the league, those would be the quarterbacks. I would take Aaron Rodgers first. If he was gone, I would take Mahomes, and then if those 2 are gone, I want Josh Allen. If those 3 are gone, I want Justin Herbert, and then I would take Stafford after that. That's just my opinion. But
I mean, if they were doing that, then that's why Dak is on my list.
Because you want Dak over.
Because Dak is basically an untouchable for me.
Fair enough. All right, what's your top 5 running backs?
Oh, you did not go in the order of my list.
Okay, sorry. What's your top 5 running backs?
So, we're going to go the same here. My number 1 is Najee. My number 2 is Derrick Henry. My number 3 is Jonathan Taylor. My number 4 is Dalvin Cook. And my number 5 is Nick Chubb.
Yeah, so we have different for sure on this one. Well, we both got the same first one. I mean, how do I sit in front of a Najee Harris jersey and not? Nobody's commented. I'd go there.
I want to see them. I don't need the banners up.
So I have Najee Harris number 1. To me, he's as big as Derrick Henry, so he has the power.
He got bigger, didn't he?
He gained 3 pounds, but people freaked out about it.
It's probably 3 pounds of freaking muscle.
Oh, 100%. He's as big as Derrick Henry, so he has the power, but he's elusive and has great hands catching out of the backfield like Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara. He's not as elusive as those 2, but has just as good a hands. So you get the best of both worlds when it comes to Najee for me. So I'm taking him number 1. Absolutely a homer pick. That's fine. I don't care.
And, well, he was so good with a terrible line, and now your line's a little better. He's got a year down.
Yeah, he's going to be good. I think he's the best back in the league, or definitely arguable top 3. Number 2 for me though, I would take Christian McCaffrey personally.
It was not on my list.
Exactly. I think Christian McCaffrey is insanely talented. Obviously, when he stays healthy, he's been banged up the last 2 years, so he's fallen out. Because I'm not doing it based on injury. I'm doing it based on talent. If they play this year,
into this season,
yeah, I would want Christian McCaffrey healthy over anybody else.
Well,
besides Najee.
No promises he's going to be healthy.
Exactly. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to anything. That has
yes,
nothing to do with my list.
He has a history of not being able to stay healthy.
Okay, Derrick Henry.
I love Derrick Henry.
Exactly. Get out of here. He's had 2 good seasons.
And
exactly.
He's getting
so
better
this is my list.
Year.
This is my list.
Josh Allen
lady.
Didn't start good.
Lady.
You can't say your list and not have me argue with it.
That's fine, but you gotta let me continue.
No.
Alvin Kamara is number 3 for me. Insanely talented. Again, I love a back that can do everything, not just run downhill. That's why Derrick Henry is lower on my list, because he doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield. It completely eliminates the entire. Well, Najee can do that. That's why Najee's my number 1.
Najee can also catch it though.
And then so I have Alvin Kamara at 3, Jonathan Taylor at 4. Jonathan Taylor I think is really good as well. He's only had 1 season, and he had a great offensive line. And to me, him and Najee had equivocal seasons, and Najee had a much worse line, so I think Najee's better. And then 5 is Derrick Henry for me. He makes the list because, I mean, he's had 2,000-yard seasons, and that's about it. I went back and forth with Nick Chubb.
Henry hater.
Huh?
You want to so bad not like Derrick Henry.
He's had a good season.
Okay, going into this season.
Yeah, coming off. Okay, you're going to talk about injuries. Coming off a foot injury, he missed 9 games.
Yeah, he's rested right now.
Yeah, exactly. Get out of here. So I got Najee, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, and then Derrick Henry as my top 5 running backs in the league.
Here's my real problem with Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. I had the first pick.
Yeah, you're a fantasy
the
hater.
First round, first pick, number 1 pick. That was me. And I got Christian McCaffrey. Not this past year, but the year before. The one where he was out like the whole season and never played. That one had him. The year before that, I was the first pick of the first round. And who did I get? Alvin Kamara, who got hurt and didn't play. So they are blacklisted from my fantasy.
Apparently from your
They're
power rankings.
blacklisted from my power rankings. They're blacklisted.
All right, let's move on to receivers. Who you got at receiver? You hater.
Problem. Well, my receiver list got messed up after talking to you yesterday because I was filling out these lists and I was thinking of every young guy that plays in the NFL right now and not thinking of anybody else, apparently. So
good morning, Mr. Sean Spencer. Thanks for
That's
joining.
how your name has to be.
That's how I'm going to say it every time now.
But my wide receivers, number 1 is Devontae Adams. Number 2 is BRB. Is Cooper Kupp. Number 3 is Stephon Diggs. Number 4 is Tyree Kill. And number 5 is DeAndre Hopkins.
Who was your number 1?
Devontae Adams.
And then 2?
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. We got very similar lists. I have Devontae as number 1. Nailed it.
It's kind of hard to argue that Devontae's not.
Yeah, I think.
In my opinion,
I think he's the most talented receiver. I mean, great route runner, great hands. I mean, yeah, it speaks for itself. I think he's the best. I don't think he's gonna have the best year this year out of all the receivers, but I think he's the most talented receiver out there. DeAndre Hopkins is my number 2. He's been doing it for so long. He's just amazing. Number 3 is Cooper Kupp. I love Cooper Kupp. He finally had a good quarterback and absolutely just balled out. Everybody knew he was the guy, and he still absolutely performed, which just tells me that he is that guy. Number 4 is Tyree Kill, uber talented. Again, I don't think he's going to have as good a season as he normally does, just because he went from Patrick Mahomes to Tua. But he's still top 4 receiver for me.
I actually would probably switch Hopkins and Hill on my list.
And then my 5th receiver, who is not even on your list, which is insane, Debo Samuel is a top 5 receiver.
I went back and forth on him a lot too. I would put Hopkins at 4, and then it's a real close between Hill and Debo to me. But
Debo's just a yak freak.
He's very good for me.
I got Tyreek over Debo.
Yeah. I just don't. I have Diggs.
You got Stephon Diggs on there, which I don't think he's as good as these guys. Debo outperformed and had a far less quarterback than Stephon does. So, when you perform with a bad quarterback, that just tells me how good of a receiver you are. DeAndre Hopkins did it for a long time in Houston, and that's why I think he's really good. But I mean, we got 4 of the same 5, 4 or 5 on the same.
Close. When I first made the list, forgot about Hopkins. And I had to fix my list.
All right, for tight ends.
Debo was on my list before I remembered that Hopkins is a thing.
We haven't seen many comments going against any of this, so I'm curious what people think. Tight ends. I'm sure we're gonna have at least 4 of the 5 same here.
Yeah.
Tight ends
so easy. I think my order is going to be different than you, I think. But maybe. I don't know, because I feel like we're both not. I think people are way too high on Waller, in my opinion. He's good, but I think people are too high on him. That's all. He's on my list, but.
What do you got?
I got Kelsey.
Uh-huh.
That's like the undisputed.
Yeah, he's my number 1.
Tight ends right now. Kittle
is my number
2. Andrews is my number 3.
That's my number 3.
Hawkinson is my number 4, and Darren Waller is my number 5.
Yeah, I have Darren Waller at 4. I think he's better than Hawkinson. Hawkinson's good. Don't get me wrong. The number 5 spot was really hard for me because I think it's to me it's those 4: Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, and Waller. They're the top tight ends in the league, and then there's like another level, another tier where you put like Kyle Pitts, T.J. Hawkinson.
Patty Freiermuth.
Yeah, Pat Freiermuth. I think Noah Fant might be there.
Yeah.
And that those are all interchangeable. So since this is my list, I obviously went with my guy, Pat French Fries. Pat Freiermuth, I think, is again uber talented, and the argument I would make for him against like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts had Matt Ryan, who is still in the league and just got a new contract with the team, so still good. And Freiermuth had Ben, aging, who everybody says had a terrible arm, and absolutely outperformed Kyle Pitts when it came to everything. So I love Freiermuth. I'm not going to stand up on my high horse and say
for Kyle Pitts were very high too, though.
Yeah, he scored 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying. So I feel like even though Kyle Pitts may have had like a decent year compared to the expectation I had of him, not great.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
We're like Patty French fries. I didn't know who that guy was at all, and then it's like, wait a second, this guy's great. So.
Yep, but those are our lists. Our guest has arrived. We're gonna bring in our guest here and see what he thinks of our lists, and then jump into the segment we have set up for him. So I would like to formally introduce and welcome to the stream, Mr. I Want the Smoke. Nick Rosario, thank you for joining.
Hey, buddy, where are we at? There we are. Hey, I think I'm in. Hey, there we are. Another breakfast to get me going on a semi, breakfast calls, my friend. But how are we doing there, Mr. and Mrs. Swinton from Arizona? How are we doing out there?
Doing good. Trying to stay out of the heat as much as possible.
We've had a little heat ourselves this past week, so not too bad. But all right, well, listen, I'm going to jump right in here since you wanted me to about your list. It's hard, when you get. I mean, subjective, obviously, people have their favorites. And you kind of, like you said, you kind of want to, you go, I like that guy more, that guy. He played with this quarterback, and I thought that was better, or blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So let's start with the quarterback situation first. Because I'm all for young guys. I know who Aaron Rodgers is. You know my feelings on the man. I can separate, though, from his accomplishments. Except, being 1-5 in NFC Championship games. That notwithstanding, I would still say, though, that I think, given that he has less weapons, I know, I just feel like I would put him more towards, like, the bottom of that top 5 list. Maybe 4 or 5. That's just me. I'm looking at, the guy like Matt Stafford, the guy, as Sydney kind of pointed out with his argument about taking Aaron Rodgers. How to take the reigning MVP of the league? How do you not take the guy who just won a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put Matt Stafford towards the top of my list. 1, 2, 3, in the top 3 for sure. I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan. I've never always said that. This is a year now. He's got a better defense, and I'm hoping his guys stay healthy for him on offense. I think this kid could be really good in the NFL. He has a strong arm. He can see the field. Like, I like this kid a lot. So I'm hoping Justin's breakout year this year. And we see some good things from those Chargers of San Diego, Los Angeles fame. And then I would probably finish it. And again, another kid who, he made the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow. I mean, you've got such talent at the receiver position there that it's hard not to like that guy.
That's where I had that problem too. I was like, I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got weapons. As long as those guys I know everybody hates that, stay healthy, but it's true. You got to stay healthy, man. You got to get in there. You got to do the work. You got to make sure you guys are ready to go every Sunday. And again, do I think the Bengals will repeat in terms of getting back to the Super Bowl? I actually don't. But I don't think they'll have one of those years where they'll just fall off the map either. Like, they'll make playoffs, they'll make a good showing. But that AFC has just become way too tough. But that's how a quarterback, running back, I actually agree with you guys. I love Najee Harris. I have from the beginning. Like I said, whoever gets this kid in the NFL is getting a real player because this kid can just flat out play. And your Pittsburgh Steelers got him. So, hey, kudos to them because that was a great pick for them. And I actually think that as my draft going to the Steelers as my second draft. So, Pittsburgh ended up with it. They needed a running back. That one, phenomenal. He's going to have a great year. He's going to help Mitch a lot. Our buddy Mitch, Mr. Chicago.
100%.
He's going to be handing the ball off a lot to Mr. Harris. So, yeah, I think it's going to help Mitch too. And that offense, again, I don't hate Pittsburgh, so I'm all for Pittsburgh having a decent year and that sort of thing. It's tricky because obviously everybody loves Derrick Henry. Again, he had his 2,000-year season, got hurt though. It's like Derrick Henry, but do you trust? Same thing with McCaffrey. Yes.
Yep.
Kind of powerhouse when he's in there, no doubt. He runs, he can run, catch the ball back through, does all that. But he's got to stay. Last 2-3 years, man, injuries. And that hurts you. I mean, obviously, playing Carolina doesn't help him either, but at this point, but it's just what it is. But McCaffrey there. Where's my guy? Who's the old man brain, and my fault for not thinking about this beforehand. Who's the running back in Denver?
Javonte
I want to say Lindsay, but I can't remember. Is that Williams? No, Williams. Right. Watch for that kid this year. With Russell back there,
you're big on
veteran quarterback now. You got a veteran quarterback now to help him out a little bit. And again, I know he hasn't shown a lot because he was injured also, and he hasn't had a great quarterback. I'm a big fan of Jerry Jeudy. And I just hope that this now with Russell there, that Jeudy actually has a sustainable year and you can see what this kid can do because I think he's a lot more talented than people give him credit for. So that's kind of one of my soapbox guys. I really think Jerry Jeudy could have a great year. As Ash just stares me through with her eyes.
Oh yeah, because we
can say that.
It's funny because we've argued it.
Because we literally were arguing about that yesterday. I'm like, I just don't have any faith in Jerry Jeudy, and it's probably not Jerry Judy's fault at all. He has had no help. So,
yeah, and I think Jerry Judy's gonna have a great year.
Yeah, we'll see. I think this has to be the best year he's had because this is the best quarterback he's had.
For sure.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I
think
think I agree with Javonte Williams having a good year as well. Having Russell Wilson is going to just it.
I'm looking for Denver to make some noise this year with Russell there. So let's hope they do. I'm Broncos again, not my favorite team, but hey man, you got to recognize talent sometimes. Wide receiver again, Jerry Jeudy's one of my favorites. I hope he does well. How do you not like Jamar Chase? How do you not like Jalen Waddell? Hopefully Tua can get him the ball. I know that's the joke, but seriously, you gotta get the guy the ball. The guy can run out of the gym, but if you can only throw it 40 yards, guess what? Not happening.
Yep.
I like Chase too.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like? I'm just, it's like, but yeah. I mean, it's really sad because I was actually, Ash, being the Cowboy fan that you are, I don't know, like when what's his name first got to the team, number God man, my old man brain is horrible. He just left. He left last year because he got tired of it. He went to the Raiders, I believe.
Jason Witten.
Boy's name? No, not Jason. Not the tight end. The receiver. The receiver that left Dallas. I thought I went to the Raiders. God, my old man brain is horrible. Cooper.
Oh, Browns.
Amari Cooper went to the Browns. Came from the Raiders.
Went to the Browns. Yes.
That's what it was. Came from the Raiders. Initially, he was in Dallas.
We gave up a first-round pick for him.
Yes. I always liked Amari Cooper. I thought
Amari Cooper
should have been a much better receiver than what ended up happening there. And again, a guy who's getting another chance. So hopefully Amari Cooper can rebound and have a nice time playing with, Jacoby Brissett for 8 weeks while Deshaun Watson sits out. So
maybe
we'll see what happens there. To be determined, my friends. To be determined.
Yep.
I love Amari Cooper. I'm a big Amari Cooper.
I was like
who the best route runner in the league is. I'm like Amari Cooper. I'm obsessed with Amari Cooper. Very sad.
And of course, Cooper Kupp. Again, how do you not take the leading rusher in all three categories last year?
Yeah.
To have another great year with the same quarterback, the same line, essentially the same team. So hopefully he stays healthy and puts up more records this year. But overall, I love listening to you guys, honestly. Because you guys are very knowledgeable about, like me, yes, I know I thanks to Sean, I've got this this reputation of being like, confrontational with everyone and wanting to smoke and all this. I go, but I'm a 49-year-old man who works 2 jobs, bro. I do not have, and I'm not that you do either, because I know you guys are parents and married and all that stuff. But I don't have time I try to catch up with you guys so much. I'm like, what I missed today? What did I miss today? What something happened? And there's just so much information to take in.
Oh yeah.
And you guys seem to take it in very and make it work. So I applaud both of you. I truly do.
Well, the thing with us too is like I'll be like, hey, I'll be like, hey, did you see this? And then he'll be like, hey, did you see this? So we're just like bouncing off of each other all day, like things we see too. So
that's a good thing. No, I don't necessarily have. I got to get me one of those. It might be good.
It could be a bad thing.
That's a bad thing too, because then we're arguing at 10:30 at night.
Yeah, we weren't arguing about Jerry and Judy at 10 p.m.
That's part about it. It really is. I love it because the group chats are great. Listen to everybody.
I was literally talking about Jalen Hurts last night, and I look over and you're like snoring. I was like, well, I guess I'm done talking about that.
That's what he thought of Jalen Hurts. There you go.
Yeah, he's exactly. Like, I ain't having this conversation with you. I've heard that way too many times.
Here we go. Here's my. I know people. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say. So
tight ends
kind of wrapped it. What's that? Oh yeah, tight ends. Yeah. I like
Kyle Pitts. I like Noah Fant. I know there are better ones out there, but I really think Kyle has what it takes. It's Mariota they end up doing there, but get that kid the ball, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just get that kid the ball, and you guys will be okay.
Yep.
Along with Corduroy back there, whatever the hell he does.
Cordero.
Mr. Patterson, but yeah, no, we call him Corduroy over here in Chicago. One of the local our local sports guys always called him Corduroy, so I started calling Corduroy Patterson.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so that's it for those things. I mean, again, all subjective, but a lot of players in the NFL. A lot of the AFC itself. You can pick one of 6 teams who could probably win the conference right now. So that's going to be competitive. NFC push. You kind of look to see who might step up, if anyone does. Or are we going to see, Tampa Bay and Green Bay again in the conference championship with LA or something? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Should be a good season. Looking forward to it. And
thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.